Again, welcome to Introduction to Data Science using R. In this lectures, we're going to continue with the visualization using R from our lecture 1 visualization. And we're still using the ggplot package. So our main objective here again, the same, data visualization with R. So there are some few common problems that we always will face in R. Now, when you are writing our program, anytime you have an error, don't worry about it. And just go through the error. Most likely they'll give you explanation or the line that the error is. Their goal is to debug and just look at your code. So far, we are not writing a very large code yet. Also, if you want to practice with the code in this slides, be careful when you are writing the code. One of the common errors is the plus. We normally put the plus at the end of a line. So for example, if I have a line and the code I want to write is too long, it cannot go to one line. Then after I write the first line, I'll put the plus, then I'll continue in the next line. But sometimes we have students that put the plus in the front. If you put a plus here, you get an error. So this plus have to be at the end of the first line, which all it does is to tell our program that we are continuing in the second line, the code in the second line. Also, we can use the question mark with the function name to get a help. So for example, if you have any function that you don't understand or you want to know the work of it, the purpose of the function, again, you can type a question mark with the function name and press enter. You get an help solution. Or if you are using the RStudio, we can press the F1, the function key F1 on our keyboard. That will take us to help also. Or you can use the menu for the help also. So here we start with facets. What facets does for us is that it makes it possible for us to write a subplot. So we have one plot, we can divide it into 2, 3, any amount based on a variable. So each will have different variable. Most of the time is the independent variable. Let's say we have a y will be our vertical, so that can be our dependent variable. X axis will be our independent variable. So if I have, for example, cost of living, transportation, feeding, these are 3 different variables. I can use the facet to plot it against the dependent variable, maybe quality of life, etc. So to facet your plot by a single variable, we should use facet-wrap. So again, this is the function we have to use. This is again for a single variable. So the first argument of facet-wrap should be a formula which you create with caret followed by the variable name. Here, the formula is the name of the data structure in R, not a synonym for equation. Then the variable that you pass to facet-wrap should be discrete. Should be discrete. Again, we know discrete variable is a variable based on counting, and it's a whole number. It's a finite number. So again, we can use the facet to have a subplot. Always the first argument of the facet-wrap should be a formula, which we will create with our caret. So let's see an example here. Here we are using the ggplot again. We are using the data MPG. We can see where the plus is at the end. Then we move to the next line. We use the geom point to include the aesthetics. Our mapping will be S is displays or the DISPL, and Y will be our highway or HWY. Then we can continue, but we put a plus to tell how that we are going to the next line. Now, this is the new thing we're learning today. We are using the facet-wrap and a class, so a variable name class. We always start the formula with a caret, or the variable name, I should say, with the caret. So caret, here we are using a variable. So a variable attribute class have to be inside our data. Then n row means the number of rows is 2. So this is an example of it. So here we can see we have a highway, which is our vertical. But we can create, using the facet wrap, we can have a sub, for example, 2-seater, compact, mid-size, minivan, SUV, subcompact, and pickup. So here we say that to facet your plot on the combination of 2 variables, we should use the hard facet grid to your plot call. Again, the first argument of a facet grid is also your formula. It's also formula. And we will see an example soon. So this is the example. This time, the formula should contain 2 variable names separated by a caret. So again, we have our ggplot data MPG. The geom point mapping aesthetics, we have, or AES. We have the X coordinate to be displaced, or DISPL, and then Y is our highway. Now we say facet grid, drive, and cylinder, or DRV, and CYL. So here we are saying 2 variables and the caret between them. So you can see here again, the X is our display, so we have displays. Y is our highway, we have a highway. Then we have a subplot, which is the DRV and the cylinder, mini cylinder characteristics we have. So that's our facet grid. So we can see 4-cylinder, 5, 6, and 8 cylinders. So again, facet make it possible for us, based on the data, we can write a subplot to meet the category. So this plot again is for 4-cylinder cars. This plot here is for 8-cylinder cars with a highway between 20 to 40. Same. We also have the geometric objects. How are these 2 plots similar? These 2 plots are similar, but we are using different objects or geometric objects. So here we can see it's a point. Here we have a smooth line, non-linear line. So here we say both plots contain the same S variable, the same Y variable, but both describe the same data. But the plots are not identical. Each plot uses different visual objects to represent the data. So in ggplot2 syntax, we say that these 2 use different geoms. Again, their geometric objects are different. This is points, this is a nonlinear line. So a geom is a geometrical object that a plot uses to represent data. So people often describe plots by the type of geom or geometric object that the plot uses. So for example, a bar chart uses a bar geoms or geometric object. A line chart will also use a line geometric object. A box plot may use a box plot geometric objects, and so on. So scatter plots break the trend. They use the point geom, because we know scatter plot is just a point in our space. So it uses a point geometric object. So a bar chart uses a bar geoms, line chart uses a line geom, box plot uses a box plot geom, and so on. But scatter plot, because a scatter plot normally consists of points, it uses a points geom. So we can use, again, different geometric objects to plot the same data, and we'll see an example soon. So to change the geometric object in your plot, change the geometry function that you had to ggplot. So for instance, to make a plot in a previous slice, we can use this code here. So we have ggplot data mpg. Geom, this is a point. We have our X and Y axis mapping. Then we have a second, the same data we are using, the same S and Y mapping, but this time we are using the smooth. So we saw this example, example is this previous slide here. So here we are using, say, MPG data set for both of them, but here we use the smooth, here we use a point. So you can see the geometric object. The first one to the left was the point, geom point, and the second one to the right was geom smooth. But both again are the same. So that's why here we said that underneath that both plots contain the same data. The only difference is that here we are using point geometric object, and here we are using a smooth geometric object. So every geometric function in ggplot2 takes a mapping argument, always takes a mapping argument. So here we can see the geosmooth, we still have the argument of mapping, and space for point, we still also have a mapping, argument for mapping. And here we can specify the type. So here we say geosmooth, the line type should equal to our DRV. Y is our highway, S is DISPL. So you can see that we get three different types. This is our smooth. As we can see, we have the displays and the line type. And we have the smooth. And also the dots, etc. So here we say geom smooth separate the cars into three lines based on their drive value or DRV value, which describes a car's drivetrain. One line describes all of the points with a 4 value, one line describes all of the points with an F value, and one line describes all of the points with an R value. Here, 4 stands for four-wheel drive, F stands for front-wheel drive, and R stands for rear-wheel drive. So again, let's go back. So again, this is four-wheel, front and rear wheel. And when we look at the argument, we have the line type to be the type of drive. Now, if the type of drive in the data set is 10, then we are going to get 10 different types. But the type of drive is 4. Front wheel, rear wheel, and four-wheel drive. So here, geom smooth separate the cars into 3 lines based on their drive value, whether it's 4, front, or rear, which describes the car's drivetrain. One line describes all of the points with a 4 value. One line describes all of the points with an F value, and one line describes all of the points with an R value. Here, again, the 4 stands for four-wheel, F stands for front wheel, and also R stands for rear wheel. So this is another example. We have the ggplot data. We are using the MPG. Then we have the geom smooth. We map the X and Y. Here we didn't specify the type, so only one. So that's what we have here, only one smooth line. But the second one, we say mapping X and Y value by grouping into drive. We have 3 different types of drive, so we have 3. Then another one, so ggplot data MPG, geom smooth. We have the X and Y. We are concerning with the color. So we say the color of the drive, which we know is 3 different. So we have different colors now, red, green, and blue. And we don't want to show the legend, so it's false. So we don't have any legend show on this graph. So again, that's the code. Give a try on it on your R Studio or your R console, and then again, see how it works. We already start with the lecture 1 on visualization. We were able to load MPG, so we continue from there. So this is again ggplot, data is MPG again. The geom point or geometric point, we have S and Y, there's no mapping. We have second, but this time we have a smooth and no again type. So here you can see two things are together, and they are all, we can see the shape is almost the same. So we have the geom point for our point, and then we have the geom smooth for our nonlinear line. So here we say, however, introduces some duplication in our code. We can see the duplication, both the points, again, the two are the same. Imagine if you wanted to change the y-axis to display CTY instead of highway, let's say city or instead of highway. You didn't need to change the variables in two places because we have what? Smooth and points, so we have to change the variable in those. We can avoid this type of repetition by passing a set of mappings to ggplot. So ggplot2 will treat these mappings as global mappings that apply to each geom in the graph. In other words, the code will produce the same plot as its previous code. So this example, we have our data, we map S and Y, but again, they are the same. So we say geom point and geom smooth from the argument we have here in the ggplot argument. We are going to plot a graph for type of with point and one with smooth. Now, if you place mappings in a geom function, ggplot2 will treat them as a local mappings for the layer. And also it will use this mapping to extend or overwrite the global mappings for that layer alone only. This makes it possible to display different aesthetics in different layers. So that's what we have here, ggplot data MPG mapping. And this time we have geometry, the point, we map the color, and we have the geom smooth. So this, again, if I have this mapping, the color type in ggplot, it means it will affect both point and smooth. But here I want to differentiate the color of the two. So I come to the second line, make the point red, and the smooth will be default. And that's what we have here. And everything is based on, again, the high, we have the S for DISPL and Y for the highway. And the color is the class. So this is another example here. We have the geometry point for mapping, the color class. And then for the smooth, we are using filter for the MPG. We want to, here, filter means I have to have a condition from the data set. I need only classes that is subcompact. If I don't put the filter there and I'm going to get a class for some of the class, I may get all of them. Maybe we have a compact, mid-size, subcompact, I will get everything. So if we like, we can filter it, which means I need. So for the smooth, we only have for the subcompact because we say geom smooth, filter MPG class equals subcompact. So this will be our exercise for these lectures. So again, first question is what happens if you face it on a continuous variable? Remember, we did it only on qualitative data. or categorical, and that's what our slides told us, the lecture told us. But what will happen if you do continuous variable? Try it and see, then write your solution. What do the empty cells in plot with facet grid, drive, carat, cylinder mean? How do they relate to this plot? So this is the plot given to us. Then third question, what plot does the following code make? So again, you can run it on your own. The goal here is just practicing, and in the process, most likely we will learn. Fourth question is take the first facet plot in this section. So again, get the first facet plot from this section. And what are the advantages to using facet instead of color aesthetic? And what are the disadvantages? How might the balance change if you had a larger data set? Now in 5, we're going to use the help for facet wrap. So question mark facet wrap, what does n row do? So when you go to question mark help for facet wrap, they already have it there. What is n row? What is n color? And also what are the options? Other options control the layout of the individual panels. Why doesn't, again, facet grid have n row and n column argument? And when you are using facet grid, you should usually put a variable with more unique levels in the columns. Why? And that's our question 6. So again, these are the assignment, and I will leave you to give a try. Again, most things here, as I said, again, it's just an exercise, practice it. So recreate the outcode necessary to generate this following graph also. And we're going to end here. So again, in this session, we continue with the visualization using our ggplot and ggplot2 packages for visualization. In this session, we study the facet and the type of different arguments that we can use. So again, wish you the best and see you in the next lectures. Thank you.